The well-known is my first encounter was this Petrosian 1975 with a novelty bishop d3 when the pawn was on b2, and that time it was a big surprise. Now there are many openings where the people do it in Sicilian and other openings. That time, but and later I sacrificed a knight on d5 and had a good had a good attack, and maybe he could equalize one moment, make a draw, but the game is a game, and I won. And this game is well known because Petrosian won that time the Soviet championship. It was 75. He lost only one game to me. So in Erevan. And then next two games I lost, both also with white. 1976 it was King's Indian in Soviet championship, and 1977 I played something very strange with knight f3, c4 and b4, but I usually don't play such a moves, and I lost again. 78 we played in the team cup, club cup, Soviet Union. I had already black this time, and the game ended a draw. And 1979 we played again Soviet team championship, the game that I like more than the famous game, the first one. And that was a Soviet team championship. I played the first board for Ukraine, and Petrosian played the first board for Moscow. I have to tell you that Russia played three teams. One team was Moscow with first board Petrosian, second board was second board was Smyslov, maybe. I'm not sure. Another team was Leningrad. First board was world champion Karpov. He lived that time in Leningrad. And another one was Russia Federation. On the first board was Spassky, second was Polonez. So, and now we played the versus Moscow, first board, and you know there were not so many information that time, no databases, not computers. I expected that Petrosian mostly played, if I start with e4 this time, I wanted to start with e4, he mostly played French or Caro-Kann. Sometimes he played Sicilian, very few games Spanish, mostly Lopez, mostly Caro-Kann. And I decided to play e4. He played c6, d4, d5, knight c3, d4, knight d4, and knight d7. That was played by many strong players like Karpov, for instance, knight d7, and that was I expected. There were not computers, not databases. I just considered before the game what I will do in this moment. I must admit, I was young. I was 20. No, now at that time it was young. Now the people are retired with 27 already. They stopped to play at all. And at that time, you know, there were not grandmasters with 14 or something. When I became the grandmaster with 24, there were about 10 players only. At this age, with age 20, 24, at that time grandmasters like few years elder than me, like 2 years elder Luboyevich, 1 year elder was Anderson, Timan, Sachs, Ribli, Dorian. Then the same age was Making, Belaski was 1 year younger. So more or less the same age here. Torel, so about 10, 12 players only, that age, no younger. So, and now I was young and must admit a little bit arrogant. It's like for everybody who is young and who has success. So, who is successful, arrogant. And I said, okay, he wants to play knight gf6 And I want to do the same, like him. And let us see what he does. So it was just consideration before the game, not special preparation. I played knight ge2, knight gf6, and knight to g3. I did the same. So, and I didn't know that it was played before. I didn't know because there was no database, nothing more. We played some games. So, and maybe he was a little bit surprised, I don't know. Because you know that normally, instead of after knight d7, mostly the people play bishop c4 now, this, and then they play something like that. It's a main line, actually. So, and knight e2 I played, so here are the moves, knight g3. And now it's a question what he has to do. To change both knights and then to have double pawns, maybe he did not like. To play e6, that is against the idea that he doesn't want to close his bishop from c8. And he played g6, looks normal. g6, now I play bishop c4, because now it's not e6 not possible anymore. So, bishop g7, c3, because the pawn is hanging already, and castle, castle. Castle and castle. Now he has to play. He played knight d5. Because if he would play knight d6, for instance, I would play bishops. No, I would take first. Sorry, I would take first. To force him to take by bishop. And now move a bishop back. Because bishop on f6 is misplayed. So, and if now e5, he has to play e5 or c5. Otherwise, he gets, and he is not a pin anymore here. So she cannot develop a piece. So that is bishop h6. Rook e8. And now d5, bishop e5, and e1. And now he has a little bit problem with developing pieces, what he will do now. If he changes, I take, I have both rooks, bishop d7, I can disturb him a little bit by a4. Now he has to play bishop e6 already, takes, take, f4, bishop g7, and he has a little bit weaknesses here. Bishop takes g7, king takes g7, and now probably knight e4 is better. Knight e4 is better than a5. And white has a better endgame. How much is another question, but better. And to play with black is a little bit unpleasant. So, that is why he played in this moment after castling. Where is the castle? Knight b6, bishop b3. No, sorry. He played immediately, not knight b6, and he played immediately knight d5. He wanted to to put another knight to b6, to f6 maybe. Or maybe he wants to keep control over c5 square 2. Rook e1. Logical. And he played here e5. Because without e5 and c5 he will be in troubles. He played e5 and bishop g5. And this moment he could equalize the game. If he would play here queen b6. Queen b6 was the best move. D e5, knight e5, bishop d5, pawn d5, queen d5, bishop e3, queen d5. So if bishop e3, queen b2, b1 could be another game, but not clear, this situation. But queen b5 looks a normal move. Queen takes d5. And now bishop e6. Bishop e6. This is very annoying bishop here. It's not control. Queen c5, and now knight this. Take, takes, rook e2, and he takes on e2. And should be about equal. Seems to be equal. That was what he missed in this moment. He played f6. Instead of queen d6, like that. This moment, he played f6. And now, just a bishop. c d4, e4. I suppose the Tarrasch said, who doesn't like to play, who is scared to play with isolated pawn should not play chess. I'm not sure if Tarrasch, but somebody said it. So, now yes, I have isolated pawn. If his pawn would be on f7, then black position would be very good. But the problem is of this pawn. It's closing the bishop. If he plays f5, closing another bishop. So yes, that is the problem of this pawn. That's because of that he cannot attack my isolated pawn and cannot develop good pieces. If, for instance, here f5, I simply can take and not g5. Very unpleasant. Sorry, except of when he doesn't take on d4. Sorry. When in this position, if he plays after bishop e2, if he plays immediately, then he takes, and now it's knight g5, and after rook e8, now he is isolated. Yes, but comparing to the positions, this bishop is back, poor bishop, and also king is not safe in this situation. So that is why we first change it on d4, d4, c4, and now we play knight b6, bishop b3, and he just put it in h8. So, white has a very nice c5 for a knight. Bishop on g7 seems to be poor, yeah, without closed. But I played a lot of games Sicilian closed, and I know that the king without bishop on g7 would be always weak. He needed the bishop. First of all, bishop to defend the king, and maybe later to attack d4. So, and I just decided, because he still has a bishop on c8, he cannot develop because of knight c5 always, then just to change the bishop. Seems to be unlogical, but a5. Let's take it over. And a3. First of all, covering b4 square, and if it pawn on if a5 or if a4 would be always weak later. And now he decided to change, to replace knights, another change. He played knight c7, first to cover e6, and another to bring another one knight to b5, because knight on b6 is not good. And he wants, or maybe he wants to play one moment b6, cover the square c6. Bishop. First knight c5. Because he wanted to play immediately bishop e6, changing the bishop. Knight c5. He has to play knight bd5. He still has no bishop e6. And now I change that one bishop. Now what to do with my knight on c5? He played b6. To take on h6 would be very unpleasant with queen on h6. He played b6, g6. Now I changed, and now I move the knight to knight d3. Because one moment I want to have knight. Okay, he has another weakness, c6 now. Has to cover c6. Bishop d7, and knight f4. Even I want to change both pieces on d5, and then he has problems with the squares. Queen is coming over f4 to d6, maybe. Rook f7. That's like typical Petrosyan, is covering the squares. e7 square. And the typical in such positions is the king is weak, and we start with h4. h5 is a threat already. Rook c8. Sooner or later, he has to cover the file. Another option was queen f8 instead of this. Another was queen f8 to bring queen to d6. And now it's bishop takes, knight takes, and knight e6 takes, rook takes, And now c5. If queen c4 with, then he has rook d8. If queen c4. But I can take everything on c5 and take, rook d1, knight c7, rook c6, rook b8, I think. He has to play rook b8, rook d2, rook b5, knight e4. Still very unpleasant position because probably he's losing a pawn. So that is why he played and if I would not take after queen f8, if I would play h5, you can just bring a queen to d6. That's why you have to do it. He wants to bring, if it would be possible, but he played rook c8 instead of this. He played rook c8. Just a normal move, indeed. Queen f8 now. Now he played queen f8. Queen f8, but now I just can continue with this move. Rook c1 now. And now with queen d6, then I can take by knight, and he has to take by pawn. Otherwise knight e4 by pawn, and then I think I can continue with h5. Some ideas like h5. Now he is going to play knight e6, h6, king g8, taking, bishop takes, rook c1, rook c7, take, knight takes, knight e4. Queen e6 and queen f4. And he cannot take by queen on e4. No, queen e7 was better. Queen e7 was better. Queen e7, but anyway. And he has not king f6. King f7 has not. Because of that check. Very unpleasant check, yeah? So he played a rook e7 instead of queen d6. Where is it? This is more. He played rook e7. Rook e7. Knight takes d5. It's time already. Knight takes d5 and bishop takes d5. Bishop takes d5, pawn takes d5, and queen f4. And we have some positional advantage. Queen is not coming to d6. And he cannot cover both files, C or E. One he will give me. C file or E file. he took on e1, rook e1, rook c6. But we have better knight than that bishop. And now h5. Wait a moment, h5. No, I did not play h6 here. I queen d6. I played here he played queen e6. No, queen d6, queen e3, and now queen e6. Now. And now, you see, I would have a very nice idea here with knight f5. Very nice. Yes, he cannot take by queen because h6, and king g8, queen e7, and there is mate on g7. And he cannot take by pawn because of queen g3. But he can simply play king f7, and I have nothing except of move repetition. Simply, but it would be nice knight f5, because he has no other moves, by the way. You see, because there is king g8 is knight e7. King f8 is not possible, queen h6, so would be winning immediately. But unfortunately, king f7 would be the one. That is why after queen e6, queen d6, after queen d6, I played immediately queen d2. No.
Queen d2.
Queen d6, no, queen e3. Queen e3. And after queen e6, I would go to d2, winning a tempo. So he played rook c7. And now we have a typical end game. So, rook c7. If you can win by simple means, don't complicate the game, said Alekhine once. So, if you can simply play queen e7, and that is enough. Queen e7, take it, king h6, I think, and king h2. And he's just pinned. a4 he played. If a4 he played, I don't know what was the reason actually. If you would take here, then check, and knight is coming to e3. Rook b7, for instance. Rook b7, simply take again, king f5, and I think knight c4 is enough. No, sorry. f3 is much better. First f3. He cannot come with the king. And the end game is winning, of course. So that is, he played a4. That's no before. He played a4. Yeah. And now he plays f4. Stopping his knight, his king forever. b5. Rook f7. f5. And I think e7 maybe. Force him to play f5. And now rook e7. And now rook f7 back. Pinned forever. No, okay, he can change a rook later, if he managed to change it. But anyway, so if he were rook b7, then that change this one. If he takes by king, if he takes by pawn, then it's probably knight f1 and coming to e3 or d3 here, f3, g5, and without rooks, even, I'm not forced even to take. I can play even this one. And attack from this side too. Knight e3 and simply win the position. So he took by king. Oh, back. He took by king. He took by king. Knight e2 to g1, f3 or c3, both. Both is possible. Bishop c8. Bishop c8 he played. I did not want to change even. He played this. And I moved my knight to c3. And this position was in big time trouble. He just blundered a piece, like bishop a6.
What he did?
He played bishop a6 and blundered a piece. Yeah.
Is it possible something like before?
Sorry?
Is it possible something like before a3?
Before, instead of
No, no.
now before, knight takes d5.
Yeah, you did that.
Knight takes d5 immediately.
Yeah, I mean,
And then rook c8 is another one threat later.
Yeah.
So it's
because I knew everything.
so that was the game.
Beautiful.
And now I would like to show you one very, very strange game. Really strange game.
May I ask you a
Yes.
question? Because this is also a very strange game for me because no, I want just to understand something. Normally, when you have isolated pawn,
Yes.
you don't want to change pieces, right? No, it means that in that position, the structure of black was worse because of c6.
Yeah, both f6 and later c6 or
So
b6.
it means that
Yes.
your structure with black was not worse because of this pawn. So you
Yes.
change pieces
Yes.
for this reason.
Once actually I had a game versus Bareyev that I won. It was during the Olympiad in 1994 with isolated pawn. And Kasparov approached me and talked to me, oh, Bareyev was better, they played one team. Petrosyan, I had an isolated pawn also. He said Petrosyan would be happy with this position and suggested one variation. I came to my room and because he's talking very fast, you have no time to realize what he's talking about. And remember, I forgot that it was not possible because of tactical mean. He would lose a pawn immediately. So, and then I found him again and told him, you see, it was not possible what you suggested. You are losing that. And isolated pawn was true, but the problem was that he had weaknesses on queen side. Pawn, again, if pawn would be a7, b7, would be everything fine for black. But he had weaknesses, and later we changed a pieces, and he lost endgame because my king is coming there. King and knight, I had two knights, and I had the knight and bishop, but, or I had knight and bishop, I don't remember, and king is coming and winning the pawns, because the pawns were a little bit ahead. So, and next day, Kasparov talked to me. I find it a draw for him. I said, okay, I admit it. Draw maybe, but not more. So isolated pawn is, yeah, you have to know how to play with isolated pawn, actually. Now I want to show you, you know that this game is not so known. This game. Most know another one game. So another game was very strange game. I played versus international master Karoli, Tibor Karoli from Hungary. We played in Tbilisi 1996. No, 1986. He was so surprised that he later asked Tal, how is it possible? Why it did work, everything. So, the starting position is how to... What is the starting position?
You can
That's...
just, yeah.
No, it was not C4, it was, okay. Or maybe it was, oh, you were right. It was, can I change the sides?
Yeah.
How?
How do
No, I mean flip the board.
Yeah. How do you do it?
Yeah, I want to flip the board.
I don't know.
Yeah. At the top, highest, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because it's easier for me. I always look on my side.
Yes.
Then I know the position better. C5, C4, E5. And he played knight F3. Not normally like knight C3 or G3. Not normal. He played knight F3. I was too optimistic again, and I played E4. Okay, if he allows me to play, why not to play E4? E4, knight D4. Knight F6. Knight F6. Knight C3. Bishop C5. He played knight B3. And bishop b4. D4. D4. Maybe here would be better to castle, simply. Simply to castle, and if bishop g5, then h6, and maybe I can play e3. Maybe it's possible because it's a little bit, the pieces are displayed a little bit. So, or even before, or even h6, maybe no. Queen c2, castle, now a3, bishop, queen, and d5. That's also playable for black. But you can play, of course, bishop f4, e3. So it's just a normal game. Then I can take on c4 and bishop e6 quickly. So, and if he plays e3, his bishop is still close there. But I made a wrong move. Instead of this, I took immediately on c3. That was wrong. And now I played h6. Now I played h6. He can play bishop f1. d6 looks normal. e3. Knight c6, and he played c5 here. And now he's... No, what is wrong? Knight c6, c5. So, and now it's a little bit unpleasant here. And I have knight h, not knight h5. And I did not like it already, this way. But still not so much, but knight d5 is just bishop g3. I can take on knight d5, bishop g3, take, just win c2. And it's bad for me. It's clear that it's bad. d5 to play. c5. To play d5, it's very strong bishop then. I have no counterplay then. He just played bishop e2, castle, and so I castle. cd6, cd6. And rook c1. So now I was not happy with my position anymore. Now what to do? What to do now? I have to look for counterplay. Just play next move bishop e2, c4, and what do I do later? Looks normal to play a5 until he has not a square. a5. Bishop e2. Bishop e6. Some strange idea to play a4. c4. a4. Knight d2. Still unpleasant. Still unpleasant. b5. This is weak on a4. The only hope is some tactical ideas like knight b4. But this moment I did not see this idea. Knight b4 I played. Knight b4. Just rook b1. Easy move. Cannot take. Knight d3 is the only move. Bishop takes, pawn takes. So, as soon he finishes developing pieces, black position is lost. Exactly. He played e4. Another option was to play here rook takes b7. Somehow I have maybe this move to bring my bishop to e2. If f3, then I go to c8 and have knight h5. Later. At least I have knight h5. I have to admit that this is the poor pawn on d3. But knight h5. And if he plays knight f3, if he plays instead of this knight f3, then I have this check. Queen d2, I think, and queen d6. Maybe it's still possible to play. Maybe. Because later I have b5.
Yeah.
So maybe it's still possible. Or another option is also to play here after queen d2, queen f5. Also some moves like that. And g5 later, after castling. You see, after castling, I have g5. It doesn't look very well. This is not possible to take. And anyway, we cannot take on d3. A little bit tricks. That's the only thing what's happened to me, what's left to me. It's only to find some tricks, nothing more. And he played, instead of all that, of course, he doesn't need to take. He doesn't need to take. No, he took. No, and now not. And just play e4. Looks normal. e4, as soon that prevented me from d5 any moves. e4 and then he just castles and win the game. He will win the pawns. d3, also he has a square eventually for bishop e3, d3, and b7, and so and such. If you come to such situation, you have to find something. Otherwise, it will be lost. Otherwise, it's lost. So, and I have found here a very, very strange idea. I made almost incredible move here. b5. Looks completely strange. That's a game I'm proud of. If cb5, then I can take on a2 and we will play again. And if you take by pawn, then I can take here, rook b2 or rook a1, and bishop e3, and the pawn is on e4 hanging. Or bishop e6 is possible too. For instance, you see, even this is possible here. Bishop e6, and after d5 to take the bishop. And we start again. Because bishop e3, queen f6, and I have a pawn still. So rook a1 seems, or rook a, no, it was, or rook a1 was also the same, more or less. If rook a1 instead of rook b2, where it is? Here. If rook a1, then bishop b3. Take, change, and the pawn is hanging on e4. It's still not so clear now. Now it's not so clear. But natural move is rook takes b5. It's clear. That rook takes b5 would be normal. Like this. Oh, it's another thing. It's another thing.
It's up.
Ah, it's up.
Down,
Rook
down,
b1.
down,
No,
down,
no.
down, down.
It's a little bit. So. Sorry? Oh, here. b5. Thank you. Thank you. b5. Rook takes b5. It's normal. It's just decoying the rook to the wrong square. Rook takes b5, and now another one move. Now b5. Now rook is hanging on b5. Now is rook hanging there.
Queen e8 later, right?
Yes, it's red
He
queen
takes bishop
e8.
d5.
He took on by e pawn. Of course, he could somehow he could equalize the game, but that is a game and bishop takes, and he cannot take by pawn. Strange, but he cannot take by pawn. He played bishop e5. For instance, another would be rook takes d5, and then knight takes, queen takes, castle, queen takes a2. Now the pawn is dangerous. Knight e4. Queen c4, queen g4, and rook a6. And I suppose black is better now, because I have two pass pawns.
Yes.
Two pass pawns, and it's not easy to win them back.
Yeah.
No, it could be happen like that if he would play immediately, if he would castle immediately. Rook b5, rook d5, king d5, bishop d5, and if he would castle here. Then bishop takes c4, knight takes c4, queen takes here. I think knight e5 maybe, and that is equal, more or less. That is more or less equal. So, but I would be happy with this. But he wanted to win. It seems that he is winning already, and he played after bishop takes e5. After bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, he played bishop e5. Now another one, bishop c6. Again, because bishop g2 would be losing probably, because if I play bishop g2, immediately you can play rook g1, bishop g2, rook g1, bishop c6, and now I think rook c5. And now it's rook c5. And with some threats, a lot of threats, or even maybe rook g7. So, but first I played, that's a move order important. I played bishop c6 here. First I played bishop c6. He played rook c5, and now rook e8. And now it's queen d4 threat. Now it's queen d4 threat. Really strange. Rook g1, rook e8, rook g2, and queen takes d4. And he did not pass it. And you see the differences. The rook is hanging. Yes, not knight f3, nothing more. So rook is hanging there. He played king f1. I just change it. Change. Queen takes e5. Rook g5. Rook g3. And just rook d8 now. Now protect this one pawn. And he resigned in this position. Really strange game. So now black is pawn up already, but has and the pawn is very strong now. So sometimes you need to find something to save a game. Yes, I had in 1977 Soviet Championship a game versus Smyslov in Petrov defense. He played with black. We played few games already with him, and he outplayed me completely with black. I was completely lost. I cannot move a pieces at all. So, and one moment, I will show you this game the day after tomorrow. And one moment, the game was a joint game. We had adjointments at that time, and he had the choice. He could win normally a game, is winning pawns and that, or he could win a piece. I adjourned the game, what to do, and then I came to my room, and I find it a very strange idea that when he win a piece, and he is on move, he has queen and bishop, and I have queen, and I have a threat of perpetual check always, and he did not find during the game how to win. And I saved the draw. That was, but I can understand he was very angry with his second. His second was Grandmaster Oleg. But you know, you never will analyze a position after you get such you are piece up and your move. Nobody will analyze a game after that. Only who wants to save the game. that will find. Yes, like here. Yeah. If I would have a good position, I would not find the ideas like b5. Yeah. Yeah. And him, of course, not too. Yeah. b5 and d5. That was my only chance to do something. And he could make a draw, but no, it's a game. He was surprised. He was upset, and then he asked how it's possible, how it work. So, okay, so we finished today.
I have a question from
Yeah.
somebody in internet.
Yes.
Check those 451 asks if you anytime lose your concentration during games, and if you do, if you have any trick, any clue to get it back, to focus again.
No. Yeah, there is one clue, to be younger. It's very, very simple. Of course I am losing concentration. Even the game 2 days ago, the second round. You know, I was surprised by the opening. And later, during the game, I had the idea that I can play knight e4, I don't remember which move, it was more or less 20 or something. Instead of I played this completely stupid move a4. Instead of knight e4, then I realized he pushes pawn c4, knight c3, bishop c6, and I did not see a next move. But at this moment, I could take on d5. I could take on d5 because of e4, some ideas. But I have to take by right piece on d5, by bishop. So, and that is why, of course I lost concentration. It's not only this, it happens every time. So, sometimes even here in Sitges, it was few years ago, I don't remember exactly when it was, year 18 or 17 or something, I lost concentration on time. You know, I was better. I saw that I'm winning. Then probably it seems I played something wrong. And then somehow I lost concentration. I forgot about the time.
Yeah.
So it's happened. You forget about the time, and recently somewhere else I forgot about the time. So
And then you lost on time?
yes,
Yes.
I lost on
Because
time.
you didn't realize.
Yeah, I forgot about this clock. You know, that's one moment it was more or less okay.
Yeah.
Was the time, and suddenly it's over. So,
It happened with me too.
sorry?
It happened with me too.
Yes. Okay, so I'm not the only one who had this. Some tournaments before I was the same on time. Simply forgotten about the clock because I had 1-2 minutes, and then it was versus Grandmaster Juba in Poland. I could make different ways because first I was worse, then probably lost. Then he misplayed something, and I had few moments, few possibilities how to make a draw. And I had to choose which to make, and when I made a move, probably the same time. And before, just a moment before, I had 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Just a moment before.
Yeah. Crazy.
So just lost concentration.
You're not a computer.
Yes, I'm not.
You're not a computer.
Yeah.
You're a human being.
Okay, thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope to see you in 2 days. I mean, the day after tomorrow.
Did you come also here?
Yes,
Here?
the day after tomorrow I have a conference again,
Oh, very good.
the same time.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Excuse me, is it possible if I take a photo with you?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I like playing the Romanishin variation,
Which one?
the A6, B5.
A6, B5. Looks a little bit strange, yeah?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with the idea?
And you know, I started to play it in 1974.
Oh,
1974. You mean knight f3, knight f6, c4, e3, g3, a6,
Yes.
bishop g2, b5. So I started to play in 1974. I was 22 years old and I was looking for some ideas. Always looking for some ideas. So now, just a moment. What is this? Is microphone or what? Is it microphone or what?
I don't. This might be yes, from this camera, from the other guy, yes. Supposed to. I supposed to. Nowadays with the technology, it's not mine. Might be.
Oh. Oh, not the good time.
Well, I take water.
No,
That was for me,
play
probably.
close game.
Yes.
Just
I forgot
play tactics with
about
her. She's
Oh.
Can I ask you a question about your Trojan
for
game?
sure, for sure.
Is the endgame winning for you without rooks?
Sorry?
The endgame winning for you without rooks? So bishop rook versus knight rook if you traded rooks instead of keeping rooks on the board. Can you still win that, or can you does he have a fortress?
Yeah.
Then the endgame with the
Petrosyan,
person,
how
yeah.
we can keep fortress?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying.
No, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Because even if because he has weak squares black. Knight is always better in such positions.
Yeah, you just walk your king up to
Yes.
4. Yeah.
No, he cannot save again.
You can put your knight on c3, so his bishop is going to be on c6.
Yeah, has
Can't
to
move it.
Then where do you want you walk your king though?
Then king g3, king h5, king h3, king h6, king h4.
So
No,
what
but
do you-
I
what do you
simply,
do?
I simply can stop. I can simply stop his king.
Yeah.
Then he goes over there.
Or let me see, when you have bishop on c6, I put my knight on c3, and you are in Zugzwang
Yeah.
again. So
Yeah. And you walk your king on the king side.
yes, there are many things.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not forced to change rooks immediately
Yeah, yeah.
because he has
Your rook's so much better.
yeah, because he has a bad bishop. That is always.
And then you have a tempo g2, g3. Your king
Yeah,
goes to g5,
yeah, true.
his king on g7, then g3.
Question.
Yeah.
So how do you keep up with like modern openings if you play against youngsters that is like creative with their openings? How do you like play against them if you said like you were surprised by opening sometimes, right?
Yes,
So
I'm
like
surprised.
how do you like become creative during the game? Like I'm just curious. It's just like do things.
No,
like,
your
like,
game every time is different. So each game is different. It depends on if you have some ideas you want to make.
Yeah. Can you take a photo for me?
Did you come here for this tournament?
So it's funny, I came with my friend and then I didn't register in time, so I'm just kind of chilling, watching my friends.
Do you guys want us?
Are you like a,
I'm
or like a,
Kind of adapt to the openings. That's what you do, like, because like I'm really lazy with openings. Like I do have my favorite openings, but I don't like to study them much. So that.
So if you don't like to study much, then try to play the position that are not with forced variations.
Okay. But like, what if the opening is like so random? Like it's like so creative that sometimes you get surprised. You just like.
No, but what do you mean?
Like the moves that you don't really know. Like that's like one time like.
Then just to make reasonable moves. Don't go to forced variation if you are not sure.
Okay, just like play safe. If that's what you mean.
No, what you, for example, just give me example.
For example, in Sicilian variation, sometimes I place my bishop to d6, and I feel like
Bishop?
d6 instead of g4 because like.
No, but if you mean which Sicilian? No, just tell me.
No, it's like, I know, but like, it's the dragon one sometimes I play, or, yeah, dragon sometimes.
Dragon?
Yeah,
Dragon,
but then the knight will be d5, comes in.
no, that dragon, that is a problem that you have to know. You play with white or with black?
Black.
You have to know.
Yeah, but like sometimes you don't castle on the king side, they castle on the king side.
If the castle king side, then
It's like a real position game.
is not so dangerous.
Yeah.
But if they castle queen side, that is dangerous. Then you
Yeah,
have
you
to
have
know.
to know, yeah, for
You
sure.
have to
I know
know.
that for sure. But the king side is like they start become like it's become like a positional game. I don't know like positional games.
And you have to learn what
Oh
you
my
want
god.
to.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Like two different kinds of stuff.